Hey everybody, I got a lot of nice cars every week in the shop. Look what I got this week.
Nick's got two great Mopars. Double your pleasure at Nick's Garage. Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International. Welcome back to Nick's Garage. After his decades in business, Nick is used to seeing a different, beautiful muscle car almost every week. But this week, two gorgeous red Mopars rolled into the shop looking for Nick's help.
Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to my shop. You know, we do all kinds of works here at the shop. You know, we do some partial restoration, we do engines, dyno testing, build engines, and so forth. But today, I got two special cars I want to show you guys. They both came in last week, and they both had some issues. I got a 1972 Roadrunner with a 400 cubic inch, an automatic car. Beautiful red Roadrunner, which got the optional air grabber hood. Came in with one issue. Then I have another car, which I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes, which is a T8 Challenger that came in also with a few issues. But we'll start with this one here. This car belongs to someone that's local here in Quebec. His name is Kelsey, and he's got a beautiful 1972 Roadrunner with a 400 cubic inch automatic transmission. Yes, this is the Roadrunner. They're called like the Coke bottle design, the wraparound bumper in the front end, and of course the optional air grabber hood. This is a very unique car. It's one of my favorites, but from the factory, the air grabber door was closed, and you would put it on. It works with vacuum. You would open the door with a switch inside the car. But my client wants it open the way it is right now, so we left it the way it is. That's the way he likes it. He wants it open all the time, so we didn't tamper with it. But I'm gonna take it for a drive later on, and I'll put the switch on and off, see if it closes and opens, and I'll show you guys how it works. It's got the slapstick shifter, black carpet, black dash. That's what they are when it's in a white interior. This is the tough steering wheel console. It became with the T-handle instead of the ball shifter in 1972. This came out in 1971 with the T-handle for the automatic. 1970 was the only year with the ball type automatic shifter. 71 to 74 was the T-handle. It's a rally dash. It's got the tank built in. It's got the 150 mile per hour speedometer. It's got the gauges for the oil, temperature, alternator, and of course the fuel gauge. He told me, Nick, I have a problem with the fuel system. You know, they've changed fuel pumps, gas filters, fuel lines, and it came here, it wouldn't run. It came on a tow truck. So we figured what could be wrong. The guy's done the fuel pump, fuel lines, gas filter, carburetor. We saw no fuel going up to the carburetor. We saw fuel coming down from the back to the fuel pump, and we figured, you know what? It's gotta be something that nobody noticed. And what it was is the push rod that works off the camshaft to the fuel pump that moves up and down a quarter of an inch, makes a mechanical pump, suck and push at the same time. Here, let me just show you. I got a big block cam right here, which is from a 400, also 440, 33, all the same. This is the lobe that works off the fuel pump push rod. This is the push rod that we pulled out of the car. okay? And this works right off here, right here. So as the cam turns, you can see right here, it goes up and down 1/4 inch. So it makes that rod go up and down while it's in the block. And look at the difference. If you guys take a good look. This is the rod on the left that I took out from the car, which is worn out, which is the side on the cam. And this is another good rod, push rod. This is a good push rod that is not worn out at all. Now people are going to say, you know, it's rough here. It looks pretty smooth, but it's worn out. It's missing 1/4 inch. Yes, that 1/4 inch is the travel the pump needs for it to work, to push up the fuel pump to the carburetor. So we took out the fuel pump, we took out the push rod, and we figured this was the problem. And you know, what surprised me is this is a solid steel piece of metal that works off the cam. The cam is cast iron. Now, is it worn out? I don't think so. For some reason, what we did is we put the push rod in, and before we installed the fuel pump, we turned the engine slowly, and we saw the push rod go up and down, to see if the cam lobe for the fuel pump was still there. It was. So you know what we said? Instead of taking out the cam and looking at it, we put another rod, put it in place. We got the fuel up to the carburetor, and all we want to do right now is put a few miles on and see how it goes. After fixing the fuel pump problem, we also noticed that the backup lights didn't work and the steering was not in the correct place. So what we did, we also had a wheel alignment done on it, so we could have the steering wheel straight, and also the backup lights are not working. So we also had the safety neutral switch, also known as the reverse switch, on the transmission, which is a 3-pin for an automatic transmission, replaced so that we could get the backup lights to work, which is right here. This is a very unique switch Chrysler has. You know, it's on the side of the transmission. It's got 3 pins. It's got one for the power to come in, and then as the shifter moves, it has the power going out to the reverse lights. And also, when the switch is in a certain area with the shifters in neutral or park, it indicates the center pin to make a ground to the relay, so it won't crank over unless it's parked and neutral, or neutral I should say. So when it's in gear, with this thing, very, very smart design on the valve body from Chrysler, whoever designed it. You know, you got this working as the backup lights, and then you got the center pin as a ground for the starter relay. It's a very unique piece. So we had to replace, and now we have the backup lights working. So before I take it for a ride to let it work in a while for that cam push rod to see how it's going to wear and tear with it, I want to show you the other car that came in. Here we go. Here we have a TA Challenger, not an RT. RT stands for Road and Track. TA stands for Trans Am. You know, this is all factory, you guys. Hood pins, because there's no hood latch, because it's a ram air hood, fiberglass hood, which is factory. This comes with a 6-pack right from the factory. They only made 2,000 something units. It's got a fiberglass hood, no latch. There's the engine. It is a 346 pack. That's the original air cleaner. It's got exhaust manifolds. These cars came with automatic or 4-speed with a 355 gear ratio. This one's the automatic model. It's got power brakes, but no power steering. And it's got the front spoiler, chin spoiler, like as you guys can see under there. If you look here, you see Challenger. You don't see Challenger TA or RT, just plain Challenger because it's written TA on the fenders. This is cool, eh? You know, you guys, when you have a TA hood or a AAR CUDA, don't forget to put the hood space because there's no latch. So you forget that, you take it out for a drive, that hood's gonna open on you. The reason I say that is because I know a friend of mine, many years ago, he had a TA Challenger, he didn't put the hood bits back on, went down the road, and before you know it, the hood just came flying off and went over to the back side of the car, and it got into pieces. Fell apart into pieces, I should say. And these are the genuine optional rally wheels. That's a factory wheel for 1970. They were 15x7 from the factory, all 4 rims. It came with disc brakes, standard equipment, with 11-inch drums in the back with the rear sway bar. And also, they come with the E6015 tire in the front and a G6015 tire in the back. So they're not the 4 same tires. This is the only car from production that came with a smaller tire in the front and a bigger tire in the back. Standard equipment, also the rear deck spoiler right here. And it's written Challenger TA, Trans Am. As you can see, the chrome exhaust is not in the back because all Trans Ams come from the side, just like an AAR CUDA. They come out from the side, as you guys can see right here. That's the way they come from the factory. And standard equipment also was the antenna was mounted on the rear quarter panel, not in the front fender. And the flip-top gas cap is also standard equipment on a TA Challenger. The vinyl top was an option. You know, I used to have a TA Challenger, all point white. It had the patina look. It was a 346 pack 4-speed car. Again, no power steering, just like this one. It had power brakes, but I had to sell it so I could finish off my Kawasaki Challenger. But in the meantime, it sure brings back some memories. It came in, my customer just bought it, also a viewer, first time here. And he came in for a little issue like alternator belt coming off. And then of course it overheated, the pressure came out. And then he told me at the same time, take a look at it, Nick. You know, I have some issues with some lights. But I noticed that his backup light doesn't work either. We looked at the wiring, and the problem without the wiring it was the switch itself. So I've got a switch on order for him so I can replace it later on. At the same time, he had an electrical problem with the park lights, flashers, hazards, and so forth. And the brake lights were flickering on and off. And that is all controlled by one unit right here. This is a turn signal switch, or the flasher switch, you guys want to call it. You know, we noticed that when the brake lights, you know, when you hold the brake light, and then sometimes it would flicker on and off, or if you put the hazard and you see the park lights go on in the front, you know it's all connected through this switch. So what we did is an easy fix was we pulled out the plug from underneath the steering column, put a brand new switch, plugged it in, and then most of the lights were working. Then of course we had to fix one park light in the front because it wasn't grounding very well, it was very dim, and the same with one light in the back. You know, grounds are very, very important. If they're not very strong, you have a dim light bulb. So we had all these lights fixed. Now I'm just waiting up for another safety neutral switch or backup light switch for this car so I can fix his backup light. Also, this car also needed a wheel alignment because when we remove the steering column, it only goes back one way. It's got a splines, you know, all the way around the shaft. And one of the splines is very thick. So we try to put the steering column back in the original location because when it came time to remove the coupler, was very, very difficult because someone put it on before, did not put it in the correct location. So once we had it out, we put it back in the exact location where it should be, and of course the steering was off. So we also had it sent out for a wheel alignment to get it straight, the wheel and the alignment on the car. So I'm just gonna move the TA over to the side on the first bay, then I'm gonna take out the Roadrunner for a ride. Okay, now let's take out the Roadrunner for a ride. Let's go. Or we call it the bird. All right. November. Yeah, you know, that's the way I want to drive it. Okay, here we go. remember that T handle. Used to have it into my Hemi Cuda. Same thing on a 71 Cuda. Okay. Okay. You know, this car came, I noticed it's got rear ashtrays on the rear panels. It's got machine gun exhaust tips on the exhaust system. Beautiful, just beautiful. Tough steering wheel, rally dash, sport mirrors. Very, very clean car. Okay. I just want to put miles on it so that I want that push rod for the fuel pump to see if it's going to wear out. I want to see if it's going to wear out with the cam. So here we go. And you know, this is the way the air grabber works. Watch this. That's the way it should be. But the customer wants it open even though the engine is shut off. But anyways, to each his own, not a problem. But you know what? I'll shut it down for now, like so. There we go. Then when you're out racing or full throttle, you open it up for cold air for more horsepower. All I'm doing is putting mileage on the engine, and I want to check the alignment on it, which we had done earlier this morning. And the thing is, I want to make sure all my gauges work with the alignment done on it, and I want to make sure that push rod, the new push rod that I installed for the fuel pump, doesn't eat through the camshaft flow. So just put some miles on it, you'll see. You know, if it's gonna wear out, it's gonna wear out right away, and then the fuel pump will start working. So let's put some miles in and see how it goes. You know, when that fuel pump stops working, we're gonna stall. So I just want to make sure. I want to put a couple of miles on it, or should I say a few thousand RPMs on the idle. Make sure that fuel pump rod doesn't wear out, or should I say the camshaft lobe for the fuel pump. Okay, here we go. Still running. I did have it running earlier this morning when I drove it to the place for the wheel alignment. It went pretty good. So like I said, let me just put a few more miles on it. Then we'll take it from there. Which I'm just going to stop now for the camera. I want to show you how the air grabber works. It works with a mechanical toggle switch inside the car from Chrysler. The air grabber works on vacuum. So here I go. Put on the switch. Air grabber door should open up. And now we're ready for a race. Okay, here we go. Beautiful car, just beautiful. Make sure nobody's coming up the street. Let's go in first gear.
Nick has a soft spot for Mopar muscle and would love to be boiling the tires off a car like this. But he knows that's not his job here today.
You know, I did not build this engine, so I just don't want to push it. You know, I don't want to, you know, I don't know, it probably have no issues, but I'm here just to test the fuel pump, or should I say the fuel system. The engine seems to be running fine. Carburetor, fuel system. No stalling so far. No ticking noises, so we're good. The only thing is, time will tell. You know what? If it doesn't happen now, it won't happen later. And I'm sure it's going to be good. Maybe we'll give it some RPM. It's got a good kick down, eh? Kelsey, you got a beautiful car here, buddy. Okay, now we're going to shut the air grabber. Here we go. Now that's the way I like it. I just want that fuel pump push rod to mate with the camshaft. You know, there's a lot of oil splash. And I just want to make sure the cam is not damaged with the other push rod that we pulled out. I noticed that when we put the push rod in there, we turned the crank over and the push rod was going up and down, so that was an indication that the camshaft was still good. Was it rough? I'm not sure. It smooths out right now with the new push rod we installed. This is awesome. This is awesome. Beautiful car. Here, let's open the hood. Let's open the hood and show what does it look like? Okay. There it is, 400 cubic inch with the exhaust manifolds and the air grabber hood. All original, all genuine. Still running, that means it's got fuel. The 1972 was corporate blue, just like you see it, you guys. Even though it's a 400. It's good. Check all the mechanisms, eh? Just for an air grabber hood. A lot of pieces to make an air grabber. Check this out. Just to let you guys know, it's got a honeycomb grill. This is very unique to the Roadrunner. Beautiful, just a beautiful layout with a wraparound bumper. Let's go for one more ride. just love the turn signals on the fender. They're awesome. And of course, it's got the beep beep roll on the horn. It's not every day you get to drive a 72 Roadrunner with an air grabber. Really nice. Still running. There we have it. Now that was one cool ride. Not very often you get a 72 Roadrunner in the shop with an air grabber, 400 cubic inch. There you have it, guys. Fuel system still seems to be working. I guess the push rod might be good with the camshaft lobe. Time will tell. So let my client take it for long rides. Here it goes. And thanks for watching us here on Nick's Garage. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.